Yeah, but babe, we're not talking about providing and protecting. We're talking about abundance. We're talking about
no, of course. But
his money can go this far, but she wants it to go that far.
Do you think men can live soft lives? Do you think men should be preaching that, they too want soft lives?
Damn.
So why do you think we're interpreted as aggressive as opposed to passionate?
Do you know what?
Do you know what? I find myself, right? Do you know what?
It's terrifying.
Even with relationships, right? So even my relationships, so with my man, my sisters, my aunties, when I get heated up, I get passionate. With you guys as well, right? I have to tell, I'm like, guys, I'm not shouting at you. Guys, I'm not mad at you, yeah?
Welcome to W Lounge podcast, where we discuss relationships, community, and well-being. My name is Bree.
I'm Chrissy.
And I'm Riri.
Welcome.
Hi.
You girls ready?
Yeah.
So, that sounds an interesting one. What would happen to you, if today you stopped being responsible? In real life today, in 5D, you decided, F it, I'm not going to be responsible. What exactly do you think is going to happen to you? What would your life look like?
Okay, so this is what would happen, It will be a ton up, for months. Whole ton up,
Right.
Flights galore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
International
with money
traveling.
depleting.
100%.
Quick.
Yeah, quickly. Quickly,
Right.
And then it would stop. And then, homelessness would ensue.
It'll be hell.
Oh, yeah. And
be hell.
mental health will decline.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then I'd have to start all over again.
We'll come back to that because I want to know how the hell you're going to start again. But yes. Go on, Riri.
Do you know what? This is really, really hard concept for me to even think about because I consider myself quite responsible.
Hey.
So, I guess I would be flying out. That's probably one of the most things. I do a lot of traveling. I would buy. I think God, I'm trying to be irresponsible. I'll make an investment. That's not very responsible. Okay, I would maybe buy designer clothes. Just splash out on a lot of shopping. I do like my clothes shopping, and because I'm responsible, I'll definitely cut back on that. So I'll jump back on that definitely.
Interesting. So you'll be more materialistic in terms of buying clothing, blah blah blah. But then you would maybe want more experiences.
I'll be paragliding. I'll be climbing mountains. But the 5-star experience climbing mountains.
Right.
Yeah, where you have
5-star.
the Sherpas carrying my bags and that, and I'm glamping at this point. I'm glamping at this point. Yeah.
Glastonbury style.
100%. Yeah. And then when I get to the summit, I have 5 to 6 chefs and waiters up there.
Can you imagine?
With the whole meal and the sunset.
Is this excessive?
100%.
Yeah,
and it's irresponsible.
Very.
I'm just definitely closing car. That's me. That's as far.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I would have lived my best life though.
Yeah.
Tell me I won't be enjoying.
I wonder if your answers are an indication of what you feel is lacking.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
and these are all the things that we strive for now and we're working towards.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I will travel. I prioritise travelling anyway. So I'm going to travel over buying a nice car and buying clothes all day long.
Yeah,
same.
But you'd like more material.
So it'd be nice to have that
yourself.
disposable income to just buy just nice clothes and then have a nice car.
I agree. For me, my answer, short and sweet. If I was to be irresponsible, the same thing, traveling, loads of designer gear. I love a handbag. I will be Chanel'd out there's no tomorrow.
Head to toe.
I want to be buried in Chanel.
Beauty treatments as well, actually. I would probably have to get, I definitely do beauty treatments.
100%.
I'd have the best wig ever.
Listen, the best extensions,
every 12 hours,
clip-ons,
right?
you name it. First class. Now, I wonder if you've actually heard of this statement, you're too pretty to be single.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just
okay.
cheesy.
Very cheesy. Don't want to hear it. If you guys say that ever again, just know you're not taking my number because that's dead. But what I would say is...
But you'd get him to talk your ear off, though.
I mean, it's sweet, but...
Isn't it nice hearing that compliment?
What, you're too sweet to be... You're
too
pretty to be single?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's cheesy, but it's not a red flag.
It almost tells it... To me, it's a red flag.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like... What are you trying to say?
So you're pretty?
Nah,
and that you shouldn't be taken up. You shouldn't be on this single
market. That's their code.
Even though he's not the one that's going to take you off.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's their code for saying, I'm not going to take you off the market. you're fit, but I'm not going to take you off the market.
Really?
I'm just saying that you're pretty in it because I think this is how we're supposed to say things.
Oh, right, okay, fair
So
enough.
to me, please, I've heard it too many times, but anyway.
I'm sure you have.
Well, there's a motto circulating in the media at the moment, and it's called "I'm too pretty to suffer."
Oh,
Okay.
Really?
So this
Okay.
moves me on to my topic, soft life.
Hey,
Bring it
okay.
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something I'm quite excited to talk about because I had a conversation with a couple of friends, and everyone sort of has a different understanding of what soft life is, yeah. And I thought, let me just delve in a bit more deeper and find out exactly what that means. Before I do that, fun fact.
Oh, go on.
What race do you think soft life is heavily associated with?
Black.
Okay.
For me, yes.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love
Black.
that.
Black
Yeah.
women. Black women.
Do you know what? I will agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, just because I feel like we coined the term basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite confident about that. So what's
But whether or not we're achieving the soft life as
yeah.
black people or women, that's another question.
It's definitely aspirational
Interesting.
Yeah.
at the minute.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're both correct.
Yeah.
100%. It is heavily associated with black people. This trend is actually heavily associated with black people. It sees black women in particular ditching hardship in favour of ease and happiness.
Yay.
We thank God. The strong
time.
black woman,
Yeah.
at the moment, this term, yeah, it's actually fizzling out. And obviously, we're now entering into this era of soft life woman or person or whatever. And I guess it kind of describes someone that's intentionally pursuing an easy and peaceful lifestyle, yeah?
Love that.
Okay. But obviously, some social media will express it in a way that it's more consumerism than anything. But it's not about just taking time for yourself. It's more about, okay, I'm going to buy this Chanel bag. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy that. But that's not what soft life actually is.
Okay, so you're saying the soft life on the social media is really quite
Very
materialistic.
materialistic, yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, fine.
But the real term is to look after yourself and, you know, maintain a lifestyle that just gives you fullness in a sense. You know, it could be that maybe you love art, you might want to go and paint. That's your thing. That's going to make you happy. If you now became an artist today, let's say, and you stopped working, stopped earning money, you're now, in a sense, irresponsible, but you're now living a soft life because essentially you're doing what you really want to do. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I struggle with
this is
that.
just a small example, but people do this. Like they do legit quit their jobs, like major jobs, major roles in the society.
Yeah.
To literally do the most, what we might describe as the most basic, mundane thing to do. But to them, it's like
Really fulfilling.
serious fulfillment, you know?
Okay.
So I admire that, really and truly. You might not know that soft life actually originated in the Nigerian influencer community as slang for living a life of comfort and low stress. So shout out to Nigerians out there. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for bringing this forward to us and allowing us to, I guess, be acknowledged for who we
Seen
are.
as
but
well.
Yeah,
we can be seen as
seen.
soft and
That's it.
women
No, but we
that
have to
have
behave.
needs.
Can I stop there, please? We do need to
Hold
actually
on,
act
hold on.
soft, though. Because
Taking a turn for the worse. No, we...
Whoa. The soft life, before you act soft, I understand that, yes. But that's kind of making an assumption that we don't act soft. We do act soft anyway, as it goes.
Yes.
But the
As she
soft
speaks
life...
softly, yes.
But the soft life, is
Yes.
about being seen
That's it.
as being in a place of need. Because I feel like to the world, black women were not being seen as, a group in society that need anything. They were always self-sufficient, and and we carried so much burden on our shoulders. So we're basically soft life is just saying, hey, we've carried the burden for so long, and now we want that burden to be shared. And in extreme cases, now we just want it to be passed on to you guys. Basically, so
that's it. I'm glad that you've described that because my next question was, how would you describe soft life? So it's nice to hear that that's your version. What about you, Chris?
Soft life, I feel like it goes back to what you were saying about the whole being able to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
I feel that that's what soft life will mean for me. Not having any type of worry or stress and feel uninhibited to pursue personal interests and personal developments
Yeah.
without having to worry or concern myself with other things. Or I could kind of see it in a different sense of soft life could mean that I'm now in control of all aspects of my life and I can pursue, you know, whatever hobbies and likes that I want without having the stresses of everything else. Because I feel like in this day and age now, and because he lives, things can be so overwhelming and can really get to you. And no matter how much you want to live a soft life, there's so many external factors that are affecting you. So it's about getting into that right headspace and, you know, managing and controlling the external factors.
Preach.
And then pursuing the interests and hobbies you have. For me, that would be soft life.
But how does it actually look
mental...
in practical terms? That's like on a theoretic side, but that's the theory behind it. But how does it look? Does that... So who's the enabler? Do you need an enabler to have a soft life? Who will enable you?
Well, that is the $1 million question.
To have this soft life.
No, but I think it's about taking your days as they come as well. Like today, you're dealing with X, Y, and Z. What, you know, don't concern yourself with what's going to happen at the end of the month. So much so that you can't enjoy today. So much so that you're in this suffering and hardship that we're talking about.
But I get your question.
Who's paying?
Though.
Who's
Yeah,
paying?
you're asking.
I mean, for your existence. I'm saying, who's paying for your, to eat, breathe, to be sheltered.
I'm being responsible at this point. So
but
you're still going to work, and you know, in that environment, you know, is that something you still want to stay in? So are you trying to get yourself out of that environment? But at the same time, you know, are you still turning up and doing your work?
Okay.
You know, so it's
there's
about that.
levels to it.
Yeah, there's levels. There has to be a bit of a balance.
Yeah.
Because you can lose yourself, and you can't now pretend that you're living a soft life because, you know, you have this designer gear and you'd probably take a holiday every 2 to 3 months. Yeah. And, you know, you probably have a boyfriend that might maintain some kind of lifestyle. In your mind, in your heart, you know you're not living your true soft life. Because you know you're going to work and you don't like it there. You know day to day you're struggling because you hate your commute. This isn't soft life. You know, but there's little things you can mitigate in order for your life to be softer. You know, are you enriching yourself on your commute? So for example, for me, I have quite a long commute for work, right?
Right.
And in that time, I love to listen to either a podcast or I listen to an audiobook. Okay, just to kind of pass the time. And I think me and you spoke about that as well. Like, there's so many things you can be doing whilst you're doing other things. And I feel like these are the things that soften my life when it comes to the fact that I know I have a long commute. You understand? Which is rubbish. Like, that's rubbish. Yeah, that's rubbish. However, I know once my AirPods are in,
it takes you somewhere else.
Do you see what I mean?
It really does.
And I feel so relaxed and I feel so calm. I go into work with a better attitude. Do you understand? That's how I'm providing a soft life for myself, even though my circumstances aren't the best. And so that's how I feel about soft life. It's not necessarily, you know, your lifestyle's being paid for. You know, you don't have to lift a finger to do anything. You've got chauffeurs, you've got butlers, you've got chefs. No, it all starts from your mind.
Okay,
absolutely.
I agree. I totally agree.
Preach.
And there's like you said, there are there's a spectrum. You know, not everyone's going to have the butlers, but some people have the podcasts on their commute.
Did you see it?
And
that's just like one of our podcast. Our podcast.
This podcast.
And one of many. But these are those like I could dissect a lot of my life, and I'll be able to give you examples. But that was just one example where
it's a good
things
example.
don't need to be hard.
Yeah,
no,
it's a good example.
doesn't.
It's a good example because we've talked about it, and
Exactly,
it does definitely help.
100%. And you know what? Urban Dictionary actually defines it as life free of stress or worry and without hard work or sacrifice. Fortune.com says living a soft life doesn't necessarily mean you don't have a job. It just means your job is not your whole world. So kind of what you're both saying, you know. So, you know, we're there. We're getting it, you know.
So why do you think soft life is particularly a terminology that is referred to, we'll talk about women, why is it not something that men can relate to? So why is it quite female-centric, do you think?
It's because right now it's trending, so essentially it may trickle down to men at some point, or maybe men can also associate with it if they wish. But at the moment the trend is that it's women, and in particular black women, which kind of celebrates black women, relieving themselves
Yes.
from this
That's why I think
You
it's
know,
with women. I think it's because we've had the
angry black woman
historically,
kind of vibe.
our hardship, and
That's
we've
it.
decided, right, we're gonna
Yeah.
evolve, and we're no longer gonna take on the burdens of all these hardships,
That's
and we're
it.
gonna do something about it. And sometimes it might mean, you know, your partner is going to be able to support you and serve you, and we it's now okay to take a back seat. It's now okay to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And I think that's the message.
That at the moment, that
So
seems
Serena,
to
do you
be
think
the
men
message,
can
yeah.
live? Sorry, B.
Yeah, go on.
Do you think men can live soft lives? Do you think men should be preaching that? Yeah, they too want soft
Well,
lives.
damn. Can they?
I don't know, each their own, really. But because it is a terminology that is that was brought about by women, for women, by women,
Yeah.
I think they should probably come up with a different terminology to describe what they're trying to achieve. And only because I think it's important that soft life is very clear that what it's trying to escape, and that is something that is only relatable to, in particular, black women. I don't think men can relate to the same hardships that women have had for I mean, a lot of the hardships actually in some cases was caused by them, so you know that's an.
I mean, have you ever had a guy tell you that, like, I want to live a soft life? Have you ever had such an experience?
I was watching a podcast.
Yeah.
It's two guys. And I think they were just talking about how like life is a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Because he lives. Sorry, I've said this second time now. Cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
this is interesting.
one of the guys mentioned that he wants to live a soft life, and inside I cringed hard. Because not only did he say it, like he doubled down.
Okay.
As in like, oh yeah, I want to be flued out. I said, oh
First
my
of all,
God.
flued out is not in the dictionary, but anyway.
Ha.
But
Well,
flown
actually,
out.
It's
right?
Oh my gosh! You know, I was just about to say, what does flued out mean? And I was like, sorry guys, I'm a little bit out of touch. I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
What
it's
does it
not
mean?
slang. It's just
Okay,
slang.
right,
Yeah,
got
you
it.
know,
So
I
they
want to be
said that
taken
they
out for
flued
dinners.
out.
I
Right,
said,
okay.
okay. So, you know, in your mind, you're thinking, I'm not going to be judgmental. I'm going to hear this out. I'm going to listen.
Want to be taken out
Do you
for
understand?
so they're not talking about
Yes.
soft life in terms of ease, but they actually want to be looked after
by
their
Pampered.
Pampered by their woman. Like, if it's ease of
I
life.
personally think a lot of guys can
You
relate
know?
to that. He's not the only one. There's
No,
a
of
lot
course.
of guys
but
out
in
there.
my mind, right, I was thinking, I would have preferred if you used a different word. So this goes back to what we were saying about this soft life term has been coined for us, by us.
For sure.
And I think it should be used just
like,
by
why are
us.
you taking this from us? Why are you taking this from us?
Yeah.
Is it not our chance
Exactly,
to like?
exactly. That's why
Is
we
it not
need to
our
do
turn?
it in the
Like,
first
no.
place.
For real.
But then at the same time, do you really think men would want a soft life? Do you not think?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I don't believe
Yes,
so.
they do. I
They
think,
do.
I
They do.
think everyone
Secretly
does.
and not secretly. They
I think everybody does. If really and truly,
100%.
there's about what 1% of men that just work for work. They just love work.
Yeah.
They love money. They love the drive. And I've always said the other 99%.
Yeah.
They will get to a point where
It's a
they
big
initially there
fraction.
was honestly only 1%, and then the rest they will make money, enjoy making money, get a little bit of high, but then they reach the ceiling where it's like actually it's not always cracked. It didn't really give me that
fulfillment.
that fulfillment.
Yeah.
And I think that's when your family, your wife, your kids kick in, and that's what keeps you going. That's
That
what
adds
keeps
that
you
balance.
motivated.
Got
So
it.
I think when
that
you get
makes
guys
sense.
in their 30s and they don't have a family, I still think there's going to be a ceiling to how much money they can make unless they are just literally obsessed with money.
For sure.
And they are just obsessed with success. And there's not many that are like that. Otherwise, everyone would be billionaires. That's kind of like a billionaire
So
kind of
that's
mindset.
purpose now. So that's like a man having a family.
needs to have a
and that is the
purpose.
purpose
He
now.
has
Like,
to.
I'm not just doing this for me for the sake of
Yeah,
making
because
loads
I
of money.
think the making
I'm
loads of
doing
money
it.
thing,
Okay.
that would just die out. That would just eventually...
It'll
It gets
fizzle
boring.
out.
It gets
Fizzle out.
boring. You
it
know
will
how to
fizzle
just,
out.
you know how to do it. You know,
Right,
make
so
it
that's
up
why I
to-
said back to the soft life. I think if they were able to still have their family looked after and they didn't have to put in as much input, I think they would go for that.
You think so?
I think
agree.
so, you know.
I don't agree.
Yeah,
I think I would.
I
agree.
think so. I think that, you know what? At the end of the day, men are human as well, So
Funny enough, they are.
they're-
Yeah. I
In this
discovered
real
that.
life, we've discovered that men are actually human.
Yeah, I discovered-
and they need to be, you know, I guess treated as such and also taken into consideration as such. So if we're screaming like we want that life as well, I don't really see an issue with them screaming that. I just think give us some time as well to have that platform to express that, you know, we need that window to say black women are not all harsh and we can be soft and sweet and everything else.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think any of us would be married, to be honest with you.
Is a soft life got
Like-
anything to do with a soft personality? It's just about treating yourself good. And I think sometimes
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're
You've made a good
able
point.
to
Yeah, you've
offer
made a good
yourself
point.
a soft life, it can come with an arrogance of, well, this is what I can do for myself.
Yeah, you have to match that.
You have to
otherwise
match that or
someone
do
I
could
think it
better.
has to
Or
balance
what's your
itself
point?
out.
What's the
I
point
think
of view?
it's both, to be honest. I don't think. I think it's both. Personally, I think you have to, you know, be soft within your personality as well in order to achieve a lot of things. You can't be all harsh. You're not really going to communicate with people properly. You're not going to get what you really want. But also at the same time, you have to endeavour to actually get what you want in order for that to happen anyway.
Yeah.
So the balance needs to happen between the two. And you've got to fight for it. You've got to be firm. But doesn't mean that when you're firm, you have to be rough on the edges. Like you can be a bit more soft and just be like, you know what, I want this and I'm not going to settle for anything less.
Don't you think that if this, let's say for instance now, if you have an enabler, and when I say an enabler, this is somebody that is...
Like a pimp?
No, it could be your husband, it could be your partner, it might even be your parents. But basically you're being taken care of. So in one way or another...
Sugar daddy.
It could be a sugar daddy. It
Right.
really could be.
Or sugar mama. Yeah.
Or sugar mama. So in those types of scenarios, it would be maybe in your advantage to be a bit softer because the person that's the enabler is going to want that in return. So I think naturally it will soften you, it will soften your heart. And then that's quite a cynical way of looking at it, but there is also the natural way of looking at it. Well, when you're being looked after as a woman, it does pacify you.
It does, definitely. It cools you down. And it kind of
does.
brings you back
Cools
to
you
the
down.
femininity that we're kind of, I guess, designed to be.
Yeah.
100%.
And I'm all for it. So if soft life means that I'm going to be more feminine, bring it on. I don't really mind that, you know. So thank you for your input on that. There's more to come. As I was saying before, soft life trend is at the moment helping black women ditch hardship in favour of happiness. Do you agree now?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a
Definitely
thing.
bring a
and
bit
I-
more happiness to us, do you think?
Yeah, even if it's not in it like immediately, but I think the evolution of it, where we're going towards and I think men are going to have an understanding of what type of lifestyle that women want and be better at providing it.
For sure. I was reading an article by Leah Sinclair for stylist.co.uk. Shout out to you. This was quite good. It said, while it may be a new trend on social media, it has long history in pop culture. Some of my earliest memories of women living the soft life existed on television. From Tony Childs in Girlfriends, if you remember,
Oh, yeah. of
to
course.
Hilary Banks,
Come
my
on.
favourite,
Yeah.
in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. These women prioritised their own needs, enjoyed luxury, and were unapologetic in it. Something which wasn't particularly encouraged in the 90s when misogynistic stereotypes still dominated and representation of black women in positions of wealth was limited and often earned them the label as bougie black girls. Hillary was often considered ditzy and Tony self-centered. They provided representation of women who had high standards, high expectations, and knew what they deserved. Now, off the back of what I've said, which one out of the two would you resonate with? Tony or Miss Banks, Hillary?
Hillary.
Tony, you know.
I'm Hillary. All the way.
Hillary.
Tony.
Tell me why Tony.
Tony. I felt like there was an assuredness with her.
Yeah.
And I felt like that walking in that confidence, that walking in the whole, this is my lifestyle, this is luxury, this is how I look after myself. This is how I'm turning up. Yeah, that's
up.
what I
She
read.
turned
That's
up for real.
Yeah, that's how I kind of like
I
feel. That's how I
like
resonate.
She's got more of like a
that.
big grown woman kind of energy.
And then that as well.
And that's why I
And
feel
that
like
as well.
That's right.
Hillary has got
Yeah.
that youthfulness,
Childlike,
that
yeah.
childlike, and that's kind of what I relate to. Like feeling like she's still got that little girl kind of daddy's girl kind of vibe.
Damsel in distress.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cute.
And
I love it.
That's
so I
cute.
like.
That's
It is really cute.
because it's quite polar opposite to me. So I would thought, that'd be nice to just literally.
Yeah.
have
No,
to
but could you
experience
see
it.
yourself
Interesting.
though?
Yeah.
So forget about Riri, how she is now, but as Hillary and very dainty, a bit ditzy. Yeah, she was a bit ditzy.
Yeah.
I am portrayed as ditzy.
I am a bit
but
ditzy
I think she's
sometimes.
actually
I
quite
can be.
smart.
Yeah.
No,
I
she
think
was,
I think the real character of Miss Banks was that she was the smartest cookie out the whole family.
No, I
she
wouldn't go
knew
that
what
far.
she knew what she could get.
Okay, yes.
She knew what she could
knew what
get.
She was
and
getting the most out of it,
She
wasn't she?
she got
Yeah, she did get the most out of it.
Like,
Yeah,
she
she
didn't
did.
pet to ask her dad for anything.
Yeah.
Not only her dad, she would ask Carlton, she would ask
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah,
Will,
yeah.
yeah,
Everyone,
yeah.
like,
Everyone was flocking
everyone,
around
yeah.
her.
Everybody
Even the
would
butler, yeah.
follow suit. But I think because she had set such a standard and such a reputation for someone that wants that high life, that was it.
Everyone
you either give it to her or you
succumbed to
don't.
her. Everyone
Like, if you
did,
don't,
yeah.
then she's gonna find it from somebody else.
She's had the sport girl
So-
kind of vibe, hasn't
Yeah,
she?
see, I think that's what I didn't like.
Yeah, she's got the sport girl
Yeah,
vibe.
I didn't like that.
But at the same time, I think it set a precedence for how people are going to react and treat her, and it worked for her. So
Absolutely. Well, okay. So for lifestyle influencer and storyteller Tanika Boyd, the message behind soft life content represents self-agency. For many Black women, it is a challenge to move past always being the responsible one, always sacrificing their enjoyment, always putting themselves over others. The soft life is quite literally a rejection of hard life. Now, would you say that, are we not allowed to rest finally? Would you not say that over the years, we've always been, the one that's helping out, as I've expressed? Do you not think it's now our time? Like, do you not think it's...
I agree. I think it is our time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think there's been a lot of generational
at some point
hardship.
we get fed up,
And there's so much expectations from cooking to child rearing, to, to working, entertaining, all of it. And I feel like we definitely need to slow it down. But how that looks for me in a practical way is having a cleaner, like just outsourcing some of the things that typically would be a burden to me. So having a cleaner, men have had gardeners all this time. Like, why can't we have cleaners?
Yeah, exactly.
Painters and decorators. So have a cleaner, have like a nanny.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And this is something that's quite common in like the African cultures. If you're of a certain class, you would have a nanny, you would have a cleaner, and that's very even a cook, even in Jamaica.
Cook,
Oh, 100%. That is
you have a cook. So
standard procedure.
right, exactly. So and there's in the Bible, Esther, she was like, one of the most. I think she's one of the most admired women. Esther was all about opulence. She was all about beauty. She had lots of helpers, but she was very respectful and very, very kind to her helpers.
Yeah.
But she was also very savvy. So she had land and etc. etc. So she's kind of like, she represents the soft life as well.
Shout out to Esther.
Yeah.
Paving the way.
Hey.
Our ancestors there.
Very much. Absolutely. So very
that.
much so. And I feel like that's what we should kind of aspire to. It's also understand that we need help. And I think Black women in the past, we rejected help. And I think that's been a part of our problem as well. Yeah. We push men away and I don't need your help, or I'll pay for it, or I've got this. So I think we're kind of evolving and saying, actually, no, we do need help, but we would like help.
How achievable do you think soft life is? Like, realistically speaking, do you think in the next couple of months you could achieve soft life?
I think you can. I think
it's a mindset, like you said.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a mindset.
So
I like
don't
that.
get bogged down with how much money am I making in order to achieve this soft life?
Yeah.
Oh, who do I need to speak to, or who do I need to associate myself with in order to live a soft life, or how many sugar daddies do I need? No.
Okay.
It starts from upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. So the criticism, so the criticism online is that Black women who are proclaiming a soft life are promoting consumerism or debt or an unrealistic quality of life, especially for the younger women out there who have yet to reach their peak in earning potential.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? Just very briefly, like, do you think that is it just a social media thing? Should we just ignore it? Because at the end of the day, we can still achieve soft life. It doesn't mean that it has to be, all about consumerism.
Yeah.
It really doesn't have to be about that. As we expressed before, it is about just being more wholesome within yourself and understanding who you are, learning who you are, and doing what you want.
But it's about whether or not the younger generation will listen to that. Social media is flooding them.
Yeah.
It is, but it's also
the
teaching
materialistic
us. Yeah.
bits and
Shout out to
pieces.
TikTok, because this is where this trend kind of birthed itself.
Yeah.
You know, and this is where we kind of all got to know that, soft life, you know, it's all in history, it's all in the Bible, it's all back in the day. This is not new per se, but
It's
in our
resurfacing.
generation,
It's
it's now,
resurfacing, isn't
No,
it?
but I
It's
believe
come
this is
back
where
to
it
us,
comes
full
to
circle.
the education now. You know, what are they being taught about how to achieve a life like this? And do they even know what they want to achieve out of their lives?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see what I mean? What role models do they have in their lives to even
I
show
agree.
soft life?
This is it.
Do you see what I mean?
I think
That's why
there's a
this-
wrong and right way for the soft life to be done.
Absolutely.
And it comes anything that's got any level of arrogance in it, if you're not humble, if you're not kind to people,
Exactly.
if
I
you're
think that's all part of soft life.
Yeah, if you're
It can be.
if you're feeling entitled, that's not cool.
Do you know what the entitlement thing? That's the one that I can't stand out of all the whole soft life, you know, lifestyle. But as I expressed before, the real definition of soft life is nothing really to do with you spending loads of money, blah blah blah.
But it is that now. That's what it's become, right?
It's been promoted as that, but the core of it, as per the dictionary, etc., it's really all about looking after yourself, being, you know, and all of that stuff. But of course, with social media, it's showing that I think you need to spend loads of money in order to have that kind of
it's
lifestyle.
just the evolution of self-love, because don't forget there was this whole thing around self-love, and then I think after the pandemic this self-love then went to a new heights of soft life, which looks like abundance, basically. A lot of abundance, material abundance.
So do you think that the pandemic kind of changed our minds a little bit and made us feel as women like we need a softer life, because this is
I think so.
Like,
I don't know how.
The pandemic, I think, shifted a lot of mindsets.
It did,
but do you think
I don't know
that
exactly.
also
Yeah, I
encouraged
think
that?
so, definitely. I think it has. And also, I also feel like women just earning more, they're able to dictate the standard of life that they want to live. And I do feel like prior to this, men was putting a ceiling on women's standard of life, because it was dictated by how much, what standard he wanted to give you.
Yeah.
But now women are able to have their own standard of living and live in a certain way.
Yeah.
And they're now saying, look, this is what we want.
Interesting. No, I think you're right though. I think there's, as we said before, there's different levels to this soft life, and the one that I would probably be more inclined to teach people or encourage is the original reason, and that is to look after yourself and to not push yourself to boundaries where you know you're not really happy with. And that could be your job, it could be the partner that you're with, and stuff like that. Excuse me. So I think there has to be a point where you need to now balance out what's actually going to make you happy. And if that's a form of soft life, then fine. And kind of ditch the soft life that is attached to being dependent on somebody else and seen as like, you're just there clinging on to somebody else's wealth. Like that you could do, but then it's like, is that really soft life? Because you're not really in control anymore.
And I don't think that puts women in a good position either from men and how they look at us. And don't you think that the soft life puts men
that
in
one is not the one.
No, and don't you think it puts men in a vulnerable situation? So if you have this woman that wants soft life, is not open to abuse.
Absolutely.
From a male's perspective.
Potentially,
it can.
And don't you think that men are going to react to that and being more closed and less giving because they don't want to be the next subject of your desire to be...
Absolutely.
To have this soft life?
Yeah.
No.
And
you don't think it make a difference to men?
Tell us.
No. I believe, if a man wants to provide, protect... He's woman, he will do that.
Yeah, but babe, we're not talking about providing and protecting. We're talking about abundance. We're talking about
of course, but
his
that's
money
where...
can go this far, but she wants it to go that far.
No, but then this is why you make sure you're in alignment before you get together, okay?
It's easier said than done.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it's hard to hide soft life. I think it's very obvious now. Okay, like everyone's screaming soft life, right? And I feel that men, from when I've listened to the podcast and then, even this guy saying that he wants soft life, even men know, at this point, I do want to relieve, hardship and suffering from my woman. Do you see what I mean? And I feel that they would strive for that.
You really think so?
I really do believe so.
Interesting.
Well, they're going to have to. I'm not sure that they're going to do it initially, but they might catch up, hopefully.
Yeah, you know, this is the thing about soft life. You know, that's what makes me feel quite sad about it. Is that other side to it? You know, you're dependent on this guy or person
I agree,
to kind of just drip feed you cash. You know, on a daily, maybe monthly basis or whatever. But really and truly, the relationship's not really
fruitful in any way.
It's dead. Yeah, there's nothing. There's barely anything there but the rent, basically.
But what would you want him to do though? How would he provide that soft life for you? How would
I wouldn't go in that direction of soft life, and
No.
I personally
Me
wouldn't even
neither.
describe that as soft life, although that is a social media term.
Yeah, I think that's
or
just
that's
gold
how they
digger.
kind of describe it. It's essentially gold digging, really and truly.
I do get
and,
that.
and under the guise of being, you know, living a soft life. No, soft life is looking after yourself.
Yeah, you have to look
Essentially,
after yourself,
and
Yeah,
and
but I
being
do think the
dependable
element
on
of that as well
someone-
is having an expectation for how other people treat you as well. They've got to treat you
Absolutely.
with the same softness. So you're setting this precedence. You're
Yeah,
showing
but you
people
can
how
do that.
you want to be treated.
Yeah, you can do that, but you don't have to go to that length. Do you know what I'm saying?
I
to now
agree.
start doing the most, like, you
So
know,
how does it
we
look
won't
for
talk
you?
about, you know, Dubai and things like that,
Yeah.
but
Oh, dear.
that is under the bracket of, for some people, soft life. You know,
True.
going out there and doing the most
Abundance.
and whatever, and that's, you're getting paid to do something.
Yeah.
So do you know
not
what,
so
ladies? Sorry, I'm
great,
going to dial
but-
it back a bit and take you all the way back to the start of our conversation, but down to the meaning. B, can you read the meaning of soft life again?
Yeah, absolutely. So, term soft life originated in the Nigerian influencer community as a slang for living a life of comfort. It is also described as the Urban Dictionary defines it, soft life as a life free from stress or worry and without hardship or sacrifice. And fortune.com, as I said, living a soft life doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have a job. It just means that your job is not your whole world.
Exactly.
So you are looking after yourself.
You are looking after yourself. And at this point,
I'm going to
right,
add to that in a minute, but go on.
Yeah, and at this point, right, hardships, suffering, sacrifice, yeah. I believe these things are necessary sometimes.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Do you see what I mean? I
Absolutely.
feel like these things are
100%.
necessary.
Agreed.
These
Yeah,
things
yeah, absolutely.
build
I mean-
character. These things build personality.
Yeah.
You know, these things actually shape you, right?
Yeah.
They do. Yeah.
I would hate to say that, you know, I'm going to be a mother one day and I'm going to spoil my children, give them this soft life. And then as soon as they come across any type of problem or trouble or hardship, they don't know what to do with themselves, you know, because
Yeah.
they've never been exposed to that.
Yeah.
So for me, soft life obviously doesn't include that. But it doesn't mean, like, well, then we go all the way to the end. It's not that you don't have a job, because some people call working hardship, fine.
True.
It's just that that's not stressing or worrying you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So
One that
we
isn't
know it's
stressing
part
or
and parcel.
worrying.
It's part and parcel of life.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So if we
That's why you've
look
got
at
to
the
be realistic
context,
with life.
right? It originated in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Nigerian women, they're not trying to be comfortable. So I think they should probably swap that word out for abundance. They wasn't looking for comfortability. Soft life is about abundance. Soft life is about a man, and for how that translates in Nigeria, a man taking away your problems is paying your way. Yeah,
Okay,
let's
yeah.
just be
Yeah.
real.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that's where the more materialistic side of it has
Yeah,
come
yeah,
from.
yeah.
Because if this whole trend started off in Nigeria, it would be very flamboyant.
Yeah.
This is not. It's not going to be. I want someone to just alleviate some of my bills. I want someone
This
to
is a
pay
life-
my bill.
It is a lifestyle. Yeah,
It's a lifestyle, yeah.
A vibe.
So I think that's why it's taken this trajectory of it being quite more materialistic, because I feel like that is in line with the Nigerian culture.
So yeah, as I was saying before, I feel like with the Nigerian culture and maybe the women or whoever aspires to have a soft life, I think it is inspiring to some degree, but
Absolutely.
then also at the same time, it reminds me of, I guess, historically how maybe we've always been treated, and at some point we kind of lost that as the years have gone by, and it's no longer like a norm for someone to spoil you.
Yeah.
And now it's like if someone spoils you and pays for your bill or pays for your rent or pays for your petrol, it's now, is she a gold digger?
Exactly. And I
is she
feel like
okay,
do you know what
that's
it is?
soft life. People are
I
just,
just see it as we're
Is this like a
putting
normal thing, or
our
is
crowns
it-
back on.
Is that soft life or is that prostitution?
What?
Make sure your head is in the right place. Is your head in the game?
100%.
What do you want to achieve from
Yes.
getting someone external
yes.
involved in your soft life living? Okay,
preach.
And do you
And
know
what are you
what
gonna-
to, what
right.
do you know what to expect once you now get involved in this dynamic?
But then soft life
I don't
isn't
think
just
it should even
about
be
being
overthought like that.
dependent,
Why do we even have to
though.
think about it?
No, but think about it. You
Does a
just said
man
that.
have to think about, oh, before you get with this beautiful woman, you really need to think about the exchange? Why do we have to have
No, but
so
this
much
is the
pressure?
problem I have with
Society
soft
right
life,
now.
though. So you're saying we're taking it back to the Nigerian culture, and we know the women are talking about money. That's what they want. They want money, right? Pay for their bills, their cars,
But you know
their
that
rent,
they're not
their
ex-
mortgages. Yeah,
They're not the only ones though. In some European countries, this is
Arabs,
also a
it's
norm. And Arabs as well.
Well, Muslim countries,
some-
men,
like,
you know,
right?
women don't have to contribute.
no. But
really
it's
don't.
exclusive. When I think about soft life, these women are dating multiple men.
In some cases.
Yes.
But I think the end goal is to get married to somebody who is able to provide a substantial amount.
But remember
yeah, I don't
that.
get- I don't get that
remember,
from the strange.
right? Okay. So let me
Okay.
just make this very clear, right? So
And I feel like it's
you've
going to
got-
pass soon anyway, because people are going to look at the intricacies of what this soft
Absolutely,
life
and
actually
they will,
is.
and it's getting there. And this is why it was very interesting to find that there's actually two kind of different definitions of what soft life is, and that's why people do get confused, and why people do associate soft life as being, you know, borderline prostitute, like you're just there depending on this guy or woman or whatever.
I disagree.
And you're just no. What I'm saying is,
sorry.
you've got the two, yeah. So you've got that one, and then you have the real reason, the real soft life, which is just living a life of luxury that you've built for yourself, essentially, whatever format that comes in. It doesn't
your
mean that you're not
health,
giving anything
your
to
mental
someone.
state.
I just
to
think it's
your
double
detriment.
standards.
No,
Like,
but you're not
ladies,
giving
it's double
yourself to
standards because you're
someone.
worried about her having multiple men
No,
and
but
getting
I don't think
multiple
you're understanding
streams
what
of
I'm
income.
saying, though.
No, I do. But what
From
about
men.
men that have got loads of women and they've got one that cooks, one that they, you know, the freak and they have a good time, and they've got
Is
one
he
that
giving
the
all their
fam-
money? Is he paying all their bills?
He's got one. No. And what I'm saying is, men have got multiple women. They have their exchanges. There's a reason why they've got that one. That one's for the bedroom. That one's the wifey. The family know that one. That one. Sometimes actually they have got women that give them money. I'll be honest with you. The men do have that, who they might go to for a bit more businessy kind of exchange. And then you've got another one who might be more nurturing and might cook for you and whatever. So men do have multiple women for multiple reasons. But what's
But
the
then
problem?
isn't that prostitution then?
Who's
To
prostitution?
some degree.
What is he
Is
the
that
prostitute?
not?
Who's the prostitute?
Okay, because remember our topic right now, is soft life, yeah. So if we go back to the original, right, soft life, you know, you're looking after yourself, etc., etc. That doesn't always come. That doesn't mean that you now have to open your legs and start, you know, being on rotation for some guy. That to me sounds like I'm a prostitute at the end of the day.
But why is it not a
And
prostitute when a man
that's
does
so
it? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, it is both.
All right, okay, cool.
100%.
So
I mean,
he's married. So I don't
well, this
think
is the thing.
society.
Oh, so he's married.
Yeah, he's
and
married.
Then now,
He's
and
got
now it's other women.
That's very
then the
common.
women
No, but there's an exchange. So what you've described is definitely an exchange.
But where's the prostitution when the man does it?
What do you mean? Prostitution?
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't be. You wouldn't use prostitution for men anyway.
Why not?
You use gigolo? Is it
Oh, gigolo, but you know what I
whatever?
mean. He'll be a gigolo, but why is he not a gigolo?
He would be.
He would be.
But he's not getting money, but he's getting an exchange
There's
that
an
he
exchange.
wants.
But okay, so this is the difference now, right? A man will get, what will he get? His needs met.
Yeah.
Okay, so he will get, what did you say? Cooking, nurturement, whatever.
Sexual favours.
What do women want? Money,
Yeah.
Chanel bags,
Cars.
cars.
Yeah.
That is the exchange.
Yeah, and that's
Okay,
the
so-
one spectrum of soft life. That is the negative side of it, you know, and then you've got the other one. That's actually
All I'm
the,
trying to
the
say
real
is,
one. That's the positive.
my only
side of
point
things.
is that men do it, women do it.
Yeah, no,
They
definitely.
get demonized. That's what I'm saying. A woman wants the materialistic things. She wants that financial stability.
Yeah, which is a big
A man
shame, yeah.
wants a variety of different things. He wants his sexual needs met. He wants affection. Then
Yeah,
he
affection,
wants the
yeah.
wife because he wants to look and present as the
Yeah.
stable guy to the family, the work
Yeah.
colleagues, etc.
Yeah.
Okay,
The same applies for men.
and then he wants his ego fulfilled that he can still get all these women. That's also
Yeah,
part of it too.
100%, yeah, 100%.
So
it's both negative.
of course it's both negative.
it's- and
Absolutely.
I'm glad that we agree.
Yeah, we do agree on that,
We're going to move on to the next one. So, what is the opposite of soft life?
Hardship.
Struggle.
Okay, cool. A counter to the soft life woman is the stereotype of the angry black woman. This is a well-known stereotype that black women are angry, hard, and rough around the edges. And this is as per Pinterest.org. Have you ever been described as aggressive or pushy or ever like rough around the edges?
Yes.
Tell the truth and shame the devil. Have you ever?
Pushy, rough.
Yeah.
Pushy, rough around the edges.
Yeah, aggressive.
Argumentative.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
argumentative,
borderline
yeah, cool,
aggressive,
argumentative
yeah,
as well,
cool.
yeah.
To be a woman who is strong, determined and independent at the same time is a very powerful combination. You agree?
100%.
Okay. This can be very intimidating for anyone that you cross paths with, family, friends or foes alike, which I am very aware of. So can you blame women for being independent in today's society when there's so much pressure, there's so much like... you know, if you're now independent, it's a problem. If you now question somebody, you're angry.
Yeah.
You're constantly being critiqued. So do you think that there's no room for us to be upset?
Okay, I see what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? Like, is there any room for us to be upset? Like to say, like, you know, if our manager was like, oh, you're so aggressive, but really
There's no
we're not.
grace. It's just like...
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
independent people that unfortunately have now had to get this, you know, our personalities have now changed and morphed into this like powerful woman. But
I
it's not.
think it's underlining prejudice, if I'm being honest. Yeah,
it is.
That's all it is.
You don't
Because
think?
No, I don't.
yeah, no, definitely.
Okay, why?
I would say that you'd see a young black woman and she raises her voice. Immediately, your mind goes to that narrative of angry black woman.
That's it.
So all of a sudden, you're being named aggressive.
I think
And
we need
it's
to be
almost
real.
like a subconscious thing. That's what I said. It's a prejudice more so.
No, I think we need to be real. We're different. We are different. We are. We do come across different. We are less chill. We're definitely less chill.
Do you think?
Yeah. We are less chill than our white counterparts, Asian counterparts. Just facts. But
See, I disagree, you know. And that's only because I have a variety of friends from very different cultures and backgrounds. And I've seen when they go hard and when they're, you know, a bit rough around the edges and whatever. And I have seen them also with their partners do the same thing. So I can only imagine when they're at work, perhaps they're probably quite similar as well. I think it's more to do with the fact that with black women, we just have that target, you know? Because
I do think we are more
we're
difficult. And shoot me for this.
Yeah.
We are.
Right.
Like, you go out with a group of black girls, right? And...
Maybe they're not sophisticated though. Do you think?
Not necessarily. Well, let's just say like for like. I'm not gonna talk about class or anything like that. Yeah, particularly
Because it does play a part.
it does play a part.
Not monetary class or anything like that. I'm talking
does.
about just culturally. There's some people that are just classless.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
that
But
is
let's
why
say
they
you
behave
go
in a
out
certain
with a
type of way.
group of black women, right? We're very particular. So some out of 10, someone's gonna have a problem with a meal. Okay.
With a meal.
There you go. Someone's going to have a problem with the meal. Another person is going to detest or somehow challenge a service charge. Definitely. Right? It's going to
Them
happen.
ones.
And then you're going to get somebody who's going to want to talk to the manager because their food came out too long. So there's, you know, there's
Can I be all three?
you probably are. Probably.
I think we are a combination.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Right? And then you're going to get somebody who is literally going to make sure the bill's right. I'm sorry, but I did tell you that I wasn't paying for those chips. That'll probably be me. We already made the agreement that I weren't paying for the chips because you remember they came out.
Do you know what?
So
This actually happened live action,
Do you
isn't
know
it?
what?
For Emma Friend's birthday party.
Yeah,
Do you remember
it's-
when we all individually cornered off?
Yes. Interesting
Yeah.
dinner that was. Interesting soiree.
So basically what I'm trying to say is,
I believe, I came across quite charming. You know, I was very nice. Tell me we didn't get the best discount of the night.
I mean, it was fabulous.
but what I'm saying is when I go out with my white girls, there's
Different
nothing like that. And it's a little bit
story.
cold. Yeah, but it's all right though. You know, no one's going to be like bothering the waiter to change it.
When you say that,
so
right,
chill.
When you say that, though, I do feel that it really depends on the dynamic of that event, right? So if there's a smaller group,
Yeah.
we're likely to just split the bill. No questions asked. The bigger the group, the bigger the problem.
Yeah, and whether you know them
because
or not.
someone will be sitting there with just a glass of water. Obviously, that never happens with us, but anyway. And then you'll get someone with a full course royal banquet,
Steak.
but yet they want everyone to pay the same. That's a myth, and I would agree with that. That's crazy. Crazy.
I don't know.
And whether I'm black, white, purple, orange, yeah, I'm not gonna have that.
Do you know what?
think
You say
that's
that, yeah?
crazy.
But back to that same
And it's very
dinner.
unfair.
Back to the same dinner. That happened.
I don't think no white girls be doing this in their bedroom space.
Yeah.
Passion. No, it's just we're just passionate. We're just passionate. It just is what it is.
This
We're
is a
passionate.
demonstration of what passionate kind of
passionate.
No,
looks
but the
like
thing is
at the
right.
end of the day.
So why do you think we're
Passionate
interpreted
is-
as aggressive
It's
as
scary.
opposed to
It's scary.
passionate?
It's
Do you know what?
scary.
But do you know what? I find myself right. Do you know what?
It's
right?
terrifying.
Even with relationships, right? So even my relationships, so with my man, my sisters, my aunties, when I get heated up, I get passionate. Even with you guys as well, right?
I know.
I have to tell. I'm like, guys, I'm not shouting at you. Guys, I'm not mad at you.
rising.
Yeah, I'm not
Temperature's
mad.
rising.
I'm
Yeah.
literally just so excited. I'm so passionate about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But don't
yeah,
see it as in I'm getting angry at
But you also
No,
have to
don't see it
understand the
like that.
British
Absolutely.
culture is very
Absolutely.
chill.
Yeah.
Even Europeans, when they're on the
European,
road
generally
and they're
speaking,
on the
yeah.
phone, they're quite loud on the bus. You're like,
Yeah.
what's going on? But they're just
Yeah.
having a conversation, but they can be
Yeah.
quite loud.
Right.
Even the Italians are quite flamboyant. They've got the
Yeah.
hands, they go to this, you know.
Yeah.
A lot's going on. So I just feel like we're in the British culture is a lot more chill.
Yeah.
They're a little bit more.
But it's funny how we're
So-
more highlighted though.
because we stand out.
That's
No,
right.
but negatively though.
Yes,
Do you see what I mean?
But
Like,
that is-
the
that is-
Italians that are loud and flamboyant aren't being
It's
painted with the same
historic.
brush.
It's a historic thing, and unfortunately, I don't want to go down this route right now. And I think that we have definitely space for another conversation.
Yeah,
on that one.
yeah,
That one's
fine.
we are
that one's a
definitely.
deep one. That one's a deep
Yeah.
one, and you know where I'm going with this one, but we don't want to go there. So yeah, moving on.
We'll talk about the
Why is it hard to be independent? Do you think?
hard.
Yeah. Why is it really difficult for us to be independent and to still have some sense of respect from people? Why would you say that that's really difficult?
I don't think we have an issue with it. I think at the outside world have more of an issue with our independence.
interesting.
I think we're okay with it actually.
Is this exclusive to the black woman? Sorry to cut you off.
It's
No,
exclusive
that goes across
generally,
women.
but
I don't
yeah,
think.
just generally speaking.
Yeah, I just think
yeah.
actually the outside world is more, and other women as well, and men and other women have got more of an issue with us being independent. I think the only group of society that actually really celebrate us is probably the kids because they get to benefit from it.
Absolutely.
So they've got no issues with us being independent.
What about you? If you have any thoughts on it?
I think it's important to have a level of independence
Yeah.
in order to survive as a human being who is a single person, as in like you are responsible for yourself.
You're a whole
Yeah,
human being.
yeah, you are responsible for yourself. So this comes down to the type of decisions you make, the people you surround yourself with, work,
Yeah.
everything else, right? Where I take issue, because I actually take issue with the whole independence thing. I feel like it's when it encroaches on other people now, and it's a thing where you don't allow other people to help, and you almost push them out because you're trying
Yeah.
to keep this persona of independence.
Yes.
That's where I have a
yeah,
problem.
That's
because
where it becomes.
yeah, that's for me. That's
Quite-
That's the trauma side of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a trauma
Yeah,
side, absolutely.
exactly. Yeah.
Did you know that currently 225 women in women MPs in the House of Commons?
It's a lot. I didn't know there's that many actually.
Yeah, there's only that. Like there's
Oh,
literally
there's
only
only?
200. Yeah, only 200.
I think that's more than what I would have thought. To be
Which
fair.
is 35%.
Yeah.
It's not high. And then you've got out of 766 current members of the House of Lords, 220 are women. So that's 29%. So that's again not very high. I don't know if you're aware, but women were only admitted to the House of Lords in 1958.
Wow, the other day.
Hey.
Yeah, 40 years after they had had been able to stand for House of Commons. So the proportion is now rising slowly over the recent years, and it's up to 24% at the moment since 2015. 15. Third of women in the UK, 28% said they are free from worrying about money, which is great news.
That's
How
good.
many? What's the
28%.
28%.
Oh, wow,
That's
okay.
not bad. It's a little bit low, but it's not bad. You know, we're definitely climbing. Many of women have said that they feel financially independent. They said that they've had enough income, to cover their outcomes or are free from debts. That's something to celebrate, in my opinion.
28%?
Absolutely. No, they're saying that many women,
Oh, many.
out of the 28%,
Right.
have said that they're financially independent to some degree. They're able to cover any outgoings, free from any debts.
Yeah.
So I think it's something to definitely celebrate. So when it comes to being independent, I don't think it's a bad thing, you know. I think it's actually something quite nice.
Yeah.
But whilst this is happening, in the UK, inflation climbs and household bills soar. Women's finances are likely to bear the brunt of this burden. Okay. According to the Trades Union Congress, the average woman in the UK works for free for nearly 2 months compared to the average man in paid employment, based on an analysis of the wage gap. Can you blame us for getting angry?
Jeez.
Yeah.
You can't blame us for getting angry. So, you know, if you label us aggressive, if you label us blah, 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 maybe there's something internally that we're picking up on.
Personally,
that we're working super hard.
Yeah.
In any role that we're in, especially once you start going up to management role.
Yeah, for a
You've
little
got to fight
return.
for your, you know, but then you also got to fight for your respect as well, which is another situation in itself.
But I think there's a lot. I think our quote unquote unhappiness is very layered. I think there's so much to it, and I think it's a whole another area to explore in itself. But what I will say, it really is historic, and it goes way back. I'm talking like even to the point of, you know, us on those fields during the slaveries, what was going on and how we were treated back then. We weren't recognised as women. We didn't have, you know, soft life then, or we weren't told to do less hard work or anything like that. We were expected to do the same thing side by side, men, and in some cases so were children as well. So there was no differentiation between you're a woman, so we're going to give you a different type of labour. That wasn't always the case. That often wasn't the case. So here we are today, now being told you know, you can't be independent and you can't do this because you're a woman. But that, you know, we wasn't protected in that way during that long period of time. So there's definitely a transition that has taken place where we are moving away from that hardship into our rightful place of softness.
That's it.
Lovely.
Absolutely. And at the top, 40.2% of directors at UK's largest companies are women.
Ooh,
That's all right.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Yeah, that's gone up 9.5% 11 years ago, according to the FTSE Women Leaders Review.
And the profit as well of female-owned businesses or companies, actually, we're ranking at the top.
We're ranking
so
it
not
up.
only are we in those positions, but we're actually good at what we do. Just those who might be in any
We
doubt.
are ranking it up. I mean, it actually states that the proportion of the workforce in the UK is 52.7% are women and 47.3% are men.
So what's going on?
So the fact that they're getting paid a little bit extra or they're getting more perks or whatever, anyway.
So more women are working than men.
But we're working, a lot more of us in the workforce.
So
we're getting paid a little bit less.
That's the only statistic that actually makes sense, because obviously there are more women in the work.
It's not great. So you can't blame us for being a little bit upset sometimes.
We're definitely not
You
lazy.
Can't blame us. No. So I've got some pros and cons for being independent. Yeah.
Oh, go on.
You kind of mentioned something before, Chrissy. So it usually means, this is a pro, it usually means that you can take care of yourself, flexibility to take advantages of new opportunities. So it's really great. You get
Love
to
it.
live life and all that jazz. You have an attitude that won't keep you down for long in terms of like being in negative spaces. You're able to find
Absolutely.
happiness in your own without having to rely on another person or society for validation.
That's key. That's
very
key.
Yeah,
important.
so
Yeah.
I
That's a
do
big
quite
one.
like that. And then the last pro was you're able to look out for others as well, and that's what you mentioned before.
lovely.
The con. You're probably not good at asking for help, so may find that you fail to make social plans. You probably aren't aware of or accommodating your weaknesses. And then lastly, your reach and influence are severely limited. And that's because you don't want to talk to people, because you feel like, oh, it's all about me. I'm in my bubble and I can do this. I'm on my own. Like, I'm a DIY girl. Like I can.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying? I don't need help. So you're limiting yourself by being severely independent.
Yeah.
So it's actually better to have a fair balance between soft life and independence.
And in with business as well, what you just said about that, women in business are less likely to have more than one staff. There's some statistics.
That's
so
it.
again, that comes down to I don't need any help. You know, we're not very good at outsourcing, and that's the next stage of our evolution. Let someone else do it.
I've got some advice on
please.
how to live a soft life.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Prioritize yourself.
Woo.
Say no. Stick to your word. Set healthy boundaries and honour your time. Be mindful of what you are consuming. That's TV shows, music, like you said before, on your podcasts, W Lounge, social media. Be intentional with mindfulness, daily habits and routines. And this is by countyliving.com. So thanks very much for the advice, guys. Really appreciate that. Now I want you to pick one. I'm going to give you two scenarios, okay? Would you rather be an independent person, living a lifestyle as a single person until you've fully established your career? That could be 40 at this point.
It could be 45.
Right?
It could be 50.
It could be 50.
Okay, cool.
It's a
That's
long
the first
time.
one. Yeah.
It's a long time. Or live the life, a soft life, dependent on a large majority of another's income.
My husband's, right?
Nope, just another person. Could be
One
sponsor,
person though, right?
Could be
One person, right? Okay.
One person. It could be a sponsor. It could be your dad. It could be your grandma.
Okay, that's fine.
It could be anybody at all.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be sexual. It just means you're always going to be dependent. That means anything that you do in life, you must ask permission for. Which one are you picking?
Permission.
The one in the middle.
Okay. There is no one in the middle.
Right, let me see. Yeah, okay.
But if I absolutely had to pick
You
one,
had to pick one.
it would be the latter.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So soft life.
No. Yeah, I knew you were picking that.
Independent lifestyle.
No, I'm not picking that.
So independent lifestyle, single till you're fully established in your career. Is that what you're picking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I am that.
You
I am
are
that girl.
You are that girl right now.
Really, I so could
For
be
sure,
like,
for sure.
you know, live
Yeah, I'm
with my
tired of being that
parents
girl.
forevermore and whatever. But I've always been that girl, and I've tried to not be that girl. I've had a little, you know, little taste of it. And I'm like, nah, I need to have autonomy of my own trajectory in life.
That's it,
and
100%.
I need to be in an environment that represents me. It's mine. No one can tell me what chair to buy, what colour to do my walls.
Wow.
I need it to just be my decision.
Or how much money you can have a month. Yeah,
hell no.
absolutely. And you said the same, yeah?
No.
Oh, you're the opposite.
Yeah,
Interesting.
second. If I
So tell us
absolutely
why, yeah.
had to.
Yeah. Tell us
Why?
Because I feel like I would be able to explore creatively. If I knew I didn't have to worry about bills, if I didn't have to worry about repairs, if I didn't have to worry about cooking. Well, I love
God
cooking.
forbid.
I love cooking. But
Yeah.
if I didn't have that worry, I could just sit in my femininity. I could just relax. I could think about finding my husband and looking after him. As I said, I think you guys know I'm all, full about romance.
Yes. Hopeless romance.
But yeah, so for me, that's what I would love. And
But don't you feel like, is there no guilt of like burdening someone else? I feel that could be my issue. Why would I want to be a burden to someone else?
But the thing is, if that's all I'd ever known, it wouldn't be any different for me.
True.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a thing where if I had to.
It's not all that you've known though. The
Yeah.
scenarios that you're now picking. You've experienced both. Which one are you picking?
Oh, I've experienced. Oh, no,
Yeah.
still the latter. Yeah, because I want to sit in
Okay.
femininity
Yeah,
and
I
just
just
relax.
don't want to be a burden to no one, and then that's it.
All right then. Yeah.
Okay. So independent, soft life.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So for me, I'm more leaning towards the independent one. Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, because I've always been a go-getter. I'm such a rebel. I can't stand someone telling me what to do. I don't care for how much money you have. Obviously, I love to have someone around me that has, you know, that abundance and all that stuff and is willing to share that with me.
Amen.
But that's not the be all and end all. I need the experience, and I need to be able to say I've got that autonomy to just pack my bags.
Okay, do you know what?
Get on that flight and be like, you meet me
Ciao.
there or not. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to
With or
ask
without
you
you.
both,
Bye.
because you both picked the first one, right? So would you be happy dying alone and childless?
Jesus Christ, this is turning
But I don't think that I don't.
negative.
Your first
Whoa,
question was
that is a very good question.
Because even that's subjective.
Because you could end up 40 and you might find it difficult. But the thing is, according to
You don't have
statistics
to
at the
be-
moment, women are settling down later in life.
Yeah,
they
they
are
are.
also
Yes,
able
they
to
are.
have babies, healthy babies at a very late age.
Yeah.
So right now, in this day today, as we are today, I would go for the independent because I know statistically, I still have the ability to have that that lifestyle. You know, I could still potentially have a child. I'm not going to be, you know, I'm not.
Well, if
not
you want to, if you
necessarily-
want to have children and you've got a deadline, then you're just gonna have to put yourself. You got. Hopefully, you can work under pressure, and if you're about that life, you should be all right with deadlines. So you better.
Of course, yeah. If you're independent,
You better get established before
This is
your
it.
eggs dry up. It's just
This
that
is
simple,
it.
really.
No, it is. Yeah, 100%. But that's where that independent
Do you think
lifestyle
that we
now
can just
falls
balance
into
it? I think.
But
Do you know what? I think there's a
we want
balance.
it all, isn't
Of course
it?
there
We
is
want
a
it all
balance.
I
now.
want it all. Do you not think that God wants us to have it all?
100%.
Of course, I do. Abundance.
So I think we can balance it.
100%.
Abundance is what God actually wants.
I think,
Shout-
and I
you
think
know,
that's what we want as black
Shout
women.
out to your best friends.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Majesty God, GMD for life, you know. And the thing is, I personally feel like
Like.
independent lifestyle, v soft life, kind of merges together. If you really think about what we've talked about
Yeah,
today,
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing under a kind of different guise.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
And they're both extremes of the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
essentially. So I hope we've educated you a little bit. But my last
Yes.
fun fact, which might be really good, is that Rwanda. Shout out to my East African baddies out there. Holds the highest share with 61.3% of women in parliament.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Making things happen for Africa.
I think the world
yes.
needs to take note.
Oh,
Take note.
take note. This has been W Lounge Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Please continue
Thank
to
you.
follow, like, share, and subscribe. It's been a pleasure giving you some nuggets out there, what soft life actually really means and what independent life can do for you in a positive way.
Yay.
So, yeah, bye.
Bye.
See ya.